Okay, the water. All right, so without further ado, I guess Deacon Shaamal, give the brother a hand.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Take two. And those who was not here last time, it was, it was all good. First and foremost, let's give the Most High a hand again, man. Yeah, we definitely have to give thanks, man. It's definitely, before I start, I just want to say, it's definitely getting crazy out here when it comes to these spirits. I myself was even actually going through stuff as well too when I was doing this lesson last time, and
Deacon, brothers in the front, yeah, you could turn on the light. Not yet. Give us when we about to start. Our apologies.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, like I was saying, the last 2 weeks before I was doing this lesson, I also was going through stuff for myself. When it comes to with spirits and stuff as well too. Immediately when I felt that coming on, immediately I contacted brothers and said, listen, I'm not feeling well, but I'm definitely coming to class. And I forced myself to come to class. I mean, we definitely had to have a type of buddy system going on. We have to bear each other's burdens, like Paul said. I mean, it's no time to pretend, man. If you're dealing with it, let brothers know. It's no time to pretend. I'm gonna give y'all a parable when it comes to these spirits, man. These spirits are like a mouse or mice. They come in your house uninvited, undetected. They come and spoil your house. That's what they come to do. But yeah, when you see the mouse, some people might run, not knowing that the mouse is scared of you too. You like 2 blocks away and the mouse going the other way. These demons are scared of us, man. They know the deal. So you have to when you feel that, you have to how Christ was talking to these demons, stern. That's how we have to be. Like, oh, you're not ready. Are you ready for me? No, the question is, are you ready for me? That's the question you got to ask. Be silent. Like Christ said, be silent. Have to be firm. And praise the Most High. I'm feeling great today. Let's get it in. All right? Let's turn off the light. Sorry, guys. All right, guys, today's lesson is going to be the age of weaning according to the scriptures. A lot of people ask this question, especially mothers, when it comes to weaning their child. So let's get started. Let's read the definition of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, what the word weaning is.
Weaning. To wean is to accustom a child to depend upon other food than its mother's milk, often deferred for as much as 3 years. The weaning of a child was celebrated by a feast and with an offering.
Right. So this is the definition. They said that it is usually 3 years. Let's see if that's actually true. We're actually going to go to these scriptures as well. Right? Let's read Leviticus chapter 25, verse 8 to 11.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and the space of 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years.
So Sabbath of years are equal up to 49 years. Read.
Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month, and the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. A jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed.
So after you number the 49 years, which is the Sabbath years, the next year, which is the 50th year, is a jubilee. Right? And Elder Carr actually went over this, so you should know that by now. This is the scripture I want you to get, brother. I added this on. Jubilee chapter 50, verse 4.
Just the book of Jubilee, chapter 50, verse 4. Wherefore I have ordained for thee the year weeks.
Year weeks. Read.
And the years and the jubilees. There are 49 jubilees from the days of Adam until this day.
So it says, wherefore I have ordained for thee years weeks. Years weeks is a one word, right? They're actually, when it talks about 7 times 7, it's actually talking about 7 weeks breaking down the 49 years. So that's what it means by years weeks. So he gave us the years weeks, the years, and the jubilee. Okay. Here's a chart explaining it. So we have 7 weeks, which is in the red onto the left. And in the black, all the numbers in the black represent a year. So in 1 week, there's 7 years, 2 weeks, 7 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And that equals up to 49. And then on the right, on top right, then there's the next year, which is the Jubilee. And then it just starts over again after you finish that year. Okay? The reason why I'm bringing this out, this is going to explain what age Isaac was actually weaned in the book of Jubilees. Let's read on Jubilees 15 and 1.
It's the book of Jubilees, chapter 15, verse 1. And in the 5th year of the 4th week of this Jubilee, in the 3rd month, in the middle of the month, Abram celebrated the feast of the first fruits of the grain of harvest.
Before I start, I'd like to also thank my wife for also helping me with the scriptures as well. Jubilees chapter 15, verse 1, it says, the 5th year of the 4th week of this Jubilee, in the 3rd month, Abraham celebrated the feast of first fruits. All right. So remember, 5th year of the 4th week. So let's mark that down on the chart. Right. So 5th year in the 4th week, in the 3rd month, Abraham celebrated the first fruit on the 3rd month. So this is marked down, right? Everybody understand what's going on now, or not yet? Not yet. Okay. We'll get there. Let's read Jubilee chapter 16, verse 1. So instead of look up the thing that I think what people are getting mixed up with is the word week. In the Jubilee era, that word week is not talking about days. How many days are in a week? All right, so that's how you have to look at it, as not days, but years. You understand what I'm saying? So it's years. When it talks about weeks, it's talking about 7 years. Okay. So let's read Jubilees chapter 16, verse 1.
It's the book of Jubilee, chapter 16, verse 1. And on the new moon of the 4th month, we appeared unto Abraham at the oak of Mamre, and we talked with him, and we announced to him that a son would be given to him by Sarah, his wife.
Okay. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And in the middle of the 5th month, he moved from thence and dwelt at the well of the oak. And in the middle of the 6th month, the Lord visited Sarah and did unto her as he had spoken, and she conceived.
Okay, this all happened in the same year, in the 5th year. Right? So let's mark that on the chart as well. So the Elohim appeared unto Abraham in that on the fourth month, in the same year. Right? And in that same year, Sarah conceived on the 6th month. Okay? Stay with me, guys. Verse 13.
One moment.
Yeah.
Verse 13. And she bare a son in the 3rd month. And in the middle of the month, at the time of which the Lord had spoken to Abraham, on the festival of the first fruits of the harvest, Isaac was born.
Okay, so on the 3rd month, Isaac was born. Question, how many months does it take to have a child? According to scripture. 9 months. Now what the guys in the white jacket say, 9 months. Okay? Because check it. She was conceived in what? What month? The 6th month. And Isaac was born on the 3rd month. From the 6th month to the 3rd month, how much is that? 9. Right? So month 6 to month 3 equals 9 months. So let's mark that on the calendar as well. So that means if he was born on the 6th, he was born on the 3rd month, and she conceived on the 6th month, that means that it started over again, right? It's the next year. So it went from the 5th year, it's on the 6th year now. So we're in the 6th year now when Isaac was born. Everybody understand? Okay, good. So Isaac was born in the 6th year, or the 3rd month. Jubilees chapter 17, verse 1.
It's the book of Jubilee, chapter 17, verse 1. And in the 1st year of the 5th week, Isaac was weaned in this Jubilee, and Abraham made a great banquet in the 3rd month. And on the day his son Isaac was weaned.
So on the 1st year of the 5th week, Isaac was weaned. So now we got everything to figure out exactly how many years in between from that. So he was born on the 6th year, and he was weaned on the 5th week, of the 1st year. So how many years is that? He's born on the 6th year. The 7th year, that's 1 year. And then the next year, he's 2. So he was weaned at the age of 2. That's how you could use this chart when it's reading the book of Jubilees to figure out certain things. So anytime when it talks about weeks, the weeks of the 1st year, the 2nd year, it's talking about this a year. All right. So Isaac was actually 2. So we're pretty close when the Zion Bible Dictionary says 2 or 3. But there's more scripture talking about that, and it actually goes into 3. I really think that the reason why Isaac was 2 because of Sarah's age, but that's just my opinion. Because there's more scripture concerning weaning. Let's go to 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 27. And if you read this whole chapter right here, it's talking about a sister with her 7 sons, and Antiochus was pretty much like scalping their heads and telling them to eat pork. And each brother said, "No, I'm not doing it." Until they came up to the last brother, And the last brother didn't do it either, and the mother didn't do it as well, so everybody got killed. But she's talking to her last son concerning him. All right, so let's read 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 27.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on this manner: O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb.
So she bared him 9 months in his womb, read.
And gave thee such 3 years.
So as she gave him such 3 years, she was nursing for him for 3 years. That means she was giving him breast for 3 years. Read.
And nourished thee.
And nourished thee.
And brought thee up unto this age.
And brought thee up to this age.
And endured the troubles of education.
So there you have it. We have one scripture saying you started weaning from the 3. So it's close from 2 to 3. That's pretty accurate to me. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 20.
It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 20. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked him of the Lord. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned.
So she said that she would not go unto the Most High until the child is weaned. Why? Read.
And then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Most High.
That he may appear before the Most High. So there's an age when the child's supposed to be actually doing this, appearing in front of the Most High. Read.
And there abide forever.
And there abide forever. Read, brother.
And Elkanah, her husband, said unto her, do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Most High established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him.
So Samuel didn't go unto the altar until he was weaned, so he could present himself in front of the altar. And there's the reason why. There's a scripture also talking about that. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 31 and 16.
2 Chronicles chapter 31, verse 16. Beside their genealogy of males, from 3 years old and upward.
From 3 years old and upward, read.
Even unto every one that endureth or that entereth into the house of the Most High.
So 3 years old and upward, going to enter into the house of the Most High and doing what?
His daily portion for their service and their charges according to their curses.
So there you go. From 3 years old and upward, they have some type of role or some type of thing they have to do in the house of the Most High. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 8.
For when the body is fashioned now, and
I'm sorry, brother. This is going to actually explain, because Ezra actually gives you the breakdown exactly what a person's supposed to do according to life with this scripture right here, right? So let's go. Step 1. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 8. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and thou givest it members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water, and 9 months doth thy workmanship endure thy creature which is created in her. But that which keepeth and is kept shall both be preserved. And when the time cometh, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it.
So 9 months, the womb gives out the child. Read.
For thou hast commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breast, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breast.
Okay, read.
That the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time, till thou dispossess it to thy mercy. So the child, when it comes out the womb, is given milk until the time comes, right? The child doesn't want it anymore. And it goes in thy mercy. Read. Verse 12. Thou broughtest it up with thy righteousness. So after the child is weaned,
he has to be brought up in with thy righteousness, read,
and nurturest it in thy law.
and nurtureth the child through the law. So not only that it's a physical a thing, but it's also a spiritual thing when a child is weaned. So after the child is finished getting off drinking the milk and is weaned, he's supposed to be brought forth unto the Most High and nourished with the law, right? Now this Isaiah chapter 28 is actually a metaphor of how we're supposed to take in scripture, but it also shows you exactly the reason why Isaiah used this metaphor is to show us exactly how it actually is done as a child is supposed to be done, 3 years old and upward. So let's read Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9, because you cannot give a child so much information. Still a child though, right? So Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Right. So when a child is, when you're trying to teach a child, you give them a little something here, a little something there. They steal a cookie out of the cookie jar. No, thou shalt not steal. Let them know and let them understand the law. And this is the time when it's supposed to be done. Like, you know, in the Caribbean, we say you gotta you only could bend a tree while it's young, right? So that's what it's talking about. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 11. This is also a metaphor when it comes to when a child is weaned.
Of whom, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 11. Of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
So what Paul's saying here, you need to start over. You have to become like a child again, and that's what Christ said as well too. Read.
And are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat.
Go ahead.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
So everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. So he's giving a metaphor to older people, but he's giving the understanding of the process that goes on when it comes to children. When the child is still drinking his mother's milk, he's unskillful to learn the word of the Most High, because he's a babe. I forgot to mention this as well too. This is definitely the Most High. Again, how many months does it take for a child to be born? 9 months, right? If anybody knows exactly when you become a young man or young woman, what age is that? 12, right? From 3 to 12, how many years is that? 9 years. To become a full adult, because you're a young man, but you're not a full adult. You are in the process of becoming an adult. It's actually you're going to count 12 to 20, because only 20 and upward were to go into war. 20 and upward are the people that will become priests. So that's when you become a full adult, and that's another 9 years. So the Most High works in beautiful numbers, right? So continue reading, brother.
Verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age.
But strong meat belongeth to them of full age. Again, it's talking about older brothers and sisters in the truth, and going back and starting over. But it's actually giving the process of how a child is going to be weaned. From full age, you're supposed to understand. Read.
Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
So in that age, you are in that age to understand both good and evil. You think children are not that smart, They'll surprise you, right? Right, so that's pretty much it. Anybody got any questions concerning the chart? Yes, sis. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the scripture says that it's 9 months. So let's get that.
There is a scripture in the Apocrypha that says 10 months, and I have heard other versions of the same scripture that says 9.5. Some say 9. So it may be a scriptural. We have to look at the original word, what it means. But when we see the pattern of evidence, it's 9 months. But sometimes you have certain children that, well, I know, and you guys would know better than me, a child could be born less than 9 months, but not more than 9 months. Has there been a case that women, could a child would stay longer than 9 months in the belly? Okay, so that could happen too, but the pattern is usually 9 months. Is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. In the Apocrypha, it says 10th month. But I have heard other versions that will say 9.5 or 9 months. So we have to look at the original Greek word there, because the Apocrypha was translated from the Greek to the English.
Right. Anybody else got any questions? Yes, sis. Oh, that was second Ezra chapter 8. Verse 8. Anybody else? So let's give all praise to the Most High. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's keep it going for the deacon. In the name of the Most High, doing a great job. So, okay, is there any mother that's still weaning their child? Do we have any mothers yet? Don't we have Aaron? Right? Okay, so how old is your child's sister now? 11 months. Okay, so when he becomes 2, or whatever time he becomes independent from you, milk, then we have to present him to the Lord. And if we have a feast, we have a party. We have a get together and we present it and things of that nature. Okay? All right. So we're doing research because we do know that we kept, I won't say birthdays, but we kept certain parts of our children's lives when they're into their development. We kept feast days. So we have this. Now I know there's a time when it says I think in the book of 1 Corinthians, when it says when she passed the age of our flower, we have to find that age, and then we do some research on that. And then this evidence of this, we also keep a feast days, and that's where most people get the sweet 16 concept that a woman, when a woman becomes a woman. We have that tradition. We just want to try to find scripturally where do we keep that tradition. And also within men, I believe in the age of 20, there's a special feast stage for that as well, because that's when a man actually technically become a man. And they have done testing that the brain even doesn't fully get developed to the age of 20. Until the age of 20. That's when you're full, complete man, so to speak, to the age, so showing you that there's something to that.